Some comedies make you laugh, others make you think, but One Foot in the Grave somehow did both. Behind its sharp humour and dark twists lie hidden truths that most fans never discovered. Fact 1.
What busted mattress?
The busted mattress someone always dumps in your skip whenever you leave one outside your door.
When Richard Wilson was first approached to play Victor Meldrew, he turned it down. Wilson worried that the role of a grumpy retiree would typecast him as an old man too early in his career. At the time, he was in his early 50s and didn't see himself as retired material. The producers initially considered other actors to fill the role. Yet writer David Renwick was convinced Wilson was perfect. After some persuasion, Wilson agreed to take it on. His gruff delivery became iconic almost overnight. The famous catchphrase, "I don't believe it," was born from his style. Wilson later admitted he almost missed the role that defined his career. The part allowed him to explore comedy and frustration in equal measure. Audiences embraced Victor's constant battles with everyday annoyances. Wilson brought both humour and humanity to a man many saw as difficult. His refusal to soften Victor made the character more authentic. Fans felt they were watching real frustrations, not caricature. The decision to accept the role transformed both his career and the sitcom itself. Without Wilson, One Foot in the Grave would never have achieved the same edge.
Weetabix puree and sent us to death. An average day, really.
Fact 2.
Infectious laugh.
So's a hyena with anthrax.
Unlike traditional sitcoms, One Foot in the Grave was filled with surprisingly dark moments. David Renwick wanted to push the boundaries of comedy, and everyday irritations often spiraled into surreal and even morbid scenarios. Dead pets, tragic misunderstandings, and unsettling accidents became recurring storylines. For some viewers, this was shocking in a comedy format, yet it gave the show a unique identity. The darkness made the humour sharper, almost uncomfortable at times. Victor's constant misfortunes symbolised the randomness of life itself. The show tackled themes of ageing, futility and loss while still making people laugh. This unusual mix divided critics at first. Some thought it was too bleak to be a sitcom. Others praised it for daring to be different. Over time, the blend became its trademark. Fans came to expect the unexpected, never knowing whether to laugh or gasp. It proved that comedy could explore uncomfortable truths without losing its appeal. The darker tone helped the show stand apart from anything else on television at the time. It remains one of the boldest stylistic choices in sitcom history.
I'm sure I want to you-know-what.
Oh, good. So am I, as well.
Fact 3.
Oh, my God, that's it. They've got us in a pincer movement.
"I don't believe it" became one of the most recognisable lines in British comedy. Yet at first, Richard Wilson was unsure about it. He worried the phrase would sound repetitive or forced. David Renwick insisted it captured Victor's exasperation perfectly. Wilson tried it reluctantly, and the audience response was immediate. The catchphrase soon became inseparable from the character. Wilson admitted later that he was constantly asked to say it in public. Fans would shout it across the street whenever they saw him. At first this frustrated him, but eventually he accepted it as part of the show's legacy. The phrase gave Victor an instantly recognisable identity. It summarised his worldview in 3 simple words. Wilson's delivery made it both funny and relatable. No matter the situation, Victor's disbelief echoed what many viewers felt in their own lives. The catchphrase turned into cultural shorthand for frustration. What almost never happened became one of the most enduring parts of the series. Without it, the character might never have become such a household name.
Have you ever driven one of those before?
Never in my life!
Fact 4.
That was a close shave, wasn't it?
While Victor raged against the world, his wife Margaret provided calm and grounding. Played by Annette Crosby, Margaret was no simple, supporting wife. She had her own wit, strength, and frustrations. Crosby's performance gave the series balance. Without her, Victor might have been unbearable to watch. Margaret often voiced what audiences were thinking. Her patience highlighted the humanity hidden beneath Victor's anger. Crosby played the role with subtlety, showing affection alongside exasperation. She avoided making Margaret either a saint or a victim. Instead, she became the emotional anchor of the series. Critics praised Crosby's performance as essential to the show's success. Viewers admired her resilience in the face of endless chaos. Many fans related more to Margaret than to Victor. Crosby later said she enjoyed showing a real marriage, complete with love and conflict. Her chemistry with Wilson was both believable and engaging. Margaret represented the voice of reason in a world gone mad. She reminded viewers that behind every grump there's someone holding things together. Without her, the show would not have worked nearly as well.
I'm boiling, Margaret.
I have just put super glue on that glass.
Fact 5.
Still trying to find a home for that Cocker Spaniel?
No thank you, Mrs. Warboys.
One Foot in the Grave often surprised its audience with scenarios that bordered on the absurd. Dead animals turning up in freezers or bizarre neighbours creating chaos became standard plot lines. These strange twists pushed the sitcom beyond ordinary comedy. David Renwick enjoyed blending realism with surreal events. He believed the randomness of life was both funny and unsettling. Viewers never knew what bizarre moment might happen next. This unpredictability kept the series fresh. Critics at first questioned if the weirdness went too far, yet fans embraced the eccentric humour wholeheartedly. Victor's misfortunes were exaggerated, but they reflected real frustrations. The absurd events acted as metaphors for life's chaos. They allowed the show to comment on the unpredictable nature of aging. The mix of everyday problems and surreal disasters became its trademark. Audiences laughed even as they shook their heads in disbelief. The unusual plots gave the series a distinct identity. They also provided Richard Wilson with endless material for frustration. Without the surrealism, the sitcom would not have been nearly as memorable. The balance of oddity and realism defined its legacy.
What in the name of bloody hell?
Fact 6. The unusual tone of the show meant the cast often faced demanding scripts. Richard Wilson had to portray endless frustration without becoming monotonous.
What the hell are you grinning at? Will you get away from me, sleeping in bloody Snow White's cottage?
Annette Crosby balanced warmth with sharpness in nearly every scene. Many episodes required complex timing to land both laughs and tension. Some scenes involved stunts or chaotic set pieces. Wilson sometimes had to perform physical comedy in uncomfortable conditions. Crosby carried emotional weight that gave the series its humanity. Supporting cast members also worked under pressure, as odd characters brought unpredictable energy. The filming schedules were tight and often intense. The cast admitted that some episodes left them exhausted, yet their commitment never wavered. They wanted to honour Renwick's unusual scripts. The challenge pushed them to give some of their best performances. The difficulty of the roles made the final product even stronger. Audiences sensed the authenticity in every scene. The hard work of the cast elevated the show beyond ordinary sitcoms. Without their dedication, the strange blend of humour and darkness might not have worked. The demands of filming became part of the show's hidden story.
And you've just poured the last drops in the bubble and squeak!
Fact 7. Several episodes of One Foot in the Grave shocked viewers with unexpectedly dark themes.
I've just been watching two frogs having sex.
Stories included sudden death, illness, and uncomfortable tragedies. Some fans questioned if these subjects belonged in a sitcom. Others praised the bravery of tackling real-life issues with humour. Victor's constant bad luck sometimes bordered on cruel, yet the darker tone was intentional. David Renwick wanted to reflect the unpredictability of life. He refused to sanitize the world for comedy's sake. This approach created controversy, but also loyalty. Viewers debated whether it was too much or just honest. The tension between comedy and sadness gave the series its uniqueness. Few other sitcoms dared to balance so much heaviness with laughter. Audiences never knew if they would laugh or cry in the same scene. The debates only made the series more talked about. Controversy ensured it stayed in the public eye. Over time, fans came to admire its willingness to be bold. The daring themes became part of its lasting reputation. The series proved sitcoms could be more than just light entertainment.
Bugger off and enjoy for your performance. Thank you very much.
Fact 8. For Richard Wilson, playing Victor Meldrew changed everything.
Well, unless a very large jackdaw was carrying it back to its nest.
Before the show, he was respected but not widely known. Afterward, he became instantly recognizable. Fans associated him so strongly with Victor that they often forgot his other roles. Wilson admitted he sometimes grew frustrated by constant catchphrase requests, yet he also acknowledged how much the role meant to people. The character became a cultural symbol of frustration. Wilson's performance gave Victor both humour and humanity. He resisted making him a cartoon grump. Instead, he played him as a real man, overwhelmed by life. This depth made the role iconic. Wilson's career thrived, but Victor remained his defining part. Even decades later, he was still asked about the character. His connection to Victor was inescapable, yet he accepted it with pride over time. Playing Victor Meldrew gave him a place in television history. It showed his skill as a comic and dramatic actor. His identity and Victor's became forever linked.
How am I supposed to take him for walks? Nail him to a skateboard?
Fact 9. While Victor provided the laughs and anger, Margaret provided the balance.
What the bloody hell do people think this is, a drive-in scrapyard?
Annette Crosby portrayed her with strength and compassion. Margaret's patience made her relatable to audiences. Many fans admired her resilience in the face of endless chaos. Crosby played Margaret as more than a background character. She was the voice of reason, but also sharp and witty. Her relationship with Victor was complex and believable. Crosby avoided cliches, instead offering nuance. She showed both love and exasperation. Viewers often sympathized with Margaret more than Victor. Her reactions grounded the surreal events of the show. Crosby's performance was praised for its subtlety. She gave the sitcom emotional depth it might have lacked otherwise. Without Margaret, the show would have felt unbalanced. Crosby later reflected that playing Margaret was one of her most rewarding roles. Audiences still remember her warmth and strength. Margaret remains one of television's most beloved sitcom wives. She gave the show its heart and humanity.
How many times do I have to tell you baked bread on the top?
Fact 10. One Foot in the Grave ended years ago, but its legacy continues.
How's it supposed to have kept warm? Rub two fish fingers together to start a fire?
Fans still quote Victor's famous catchphrase. The series is remembered for its daring blend of humour and darkness. Its themes of aging, frustration and absurdity remain relatable. Many modern comedies cite it as an influence. The show proved that sitcoms could challenge audiences emotionally. Its surreal plots inspired later writers to take risks. The balance of realism and absurdity has rarely been matched. Richard Wilson and Annette Crosby's performances remain celebrated. The show continues to attract new viewers through reruns. Its cultural impact has lasted far beyond its original run. Fans describe it as both comforting and unsettling. Few sitcoms have managed to combine those qualities so effectively. The character of Victor Meldrew became a symbol of everyday exasperation. Margaret stood as the patient heart of the chaos. Together, they created one of television's most memorable couples. The legacy of One Foot in the Grave is that it dared to be different and succeeded.